Hello and welcome to the Freedym Show. My name is Ryan Lee, the founder of Freedym.com, the #1 resource for heart-centered lifestyle entrepreneurs. And right now you're listening to the Freedym Show. This is the daily show featuring 10 minutes of the best fluff-free advice showing you how to create your own true lifestyle business. It's not just about the money, it's about the freedom. And I just started a brand new free online community. Head on over to facebook.com/groups/breakfast with Ryan Lee. Yes, we're going to have breakfast every morning together. So, with that being said, we've got 10 minutes on the clock, and we've got my man Jack Bourne. Jack is a guy I've known for years and years, one of the smartest entrepreneurs and marketing minds I've ever met, truly. The guy is brilliant. He's also not only a marketing guy, he understands software, and he created a bunch of different software tools and companies. One of his most popular ones is awprotools.com, which integrates with Aweber and allows you to create all these different cool segmented lists and tagging, some really incredible features. So again, that's awprotools.com. Jack, we got 10 minutes on. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm excited to be here. I've got the countdown timer going.
Yeah, we're down to 8.5. All right, so you recently, I know, spent 6 weeks in Australia with your wife and kids,
Yep.
and you were able to do that because of systems. Let's dive in. Give us like the one. Let's start with the first thing. What's the big thing? What's the big breakthrough you had in terms of creating systems and a true lifestyle business for yourself?
Yeah, great. So first of all, just scheduling the trip really forced me to get even more automated and systematized and invest even more in my teams. And so I call this the burning your boats on the shore. So all throughout history, there have been these events where the conquering armada arrives on the shores of the enemy and they burn their ships, which is a signal to everyone who just arrived there, look, we're either going to conquer or die. And so for me, this was one of those events where it was, we had this thing scheduled, we had all of the tickets paid for, we're going. And so I better have my stuff together because the time zones were so different. So that's the first thing is I would highly recommend that if you really want to get yourself motivated to get your stuff together, there's nothing better than planning a trip where you are basically incommunicado for a significant period of time. It's scary, but it gets the job done. So let me dive into some specific systems. So half of my team are remote workers because I've found that some of the best coders for my software businesses are overseas. And so when I hire that great talent, sometimes I reach outside of the U.S. or Canada, and when I do that, you really need to have some very good systems in place, and you need to hire the right people. So let's talk about the system. So one of the habits that I have my remote workers get in the habit of doing every single morning is that we have this running Google Drive document. So it's nothing fancy, Google Drive. And so what they do is it's a shared document. Every single one of them has their own document that's shared with me. And every morning they list the 1 or 2 or 3 things that they're working on that day. So it's not, here's 10 things I'm doing this week. Here's what I'm working on today. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the day, they just come back and fill in, is this done? And if it's not done, it's okay. It can carry over to the next day, but I want them to get in the habit of realizing, like, what can I manage today and putting that on there. So it's a great way for me to see what is my team working on, because sometimes I'll say, hey, Ivan, or hey, Alex, we need to be working on this other thing. So it's a great way to see exactly what it is that they're doing, but at the same time, give them lots of autonomy over their schedule.
Okay, now in terms of a team,
right.
Take us through, who was the first person you hired, and who's the first person you recommend a typical lifestyle entrepreneur would hire?
Well, I think it really depends on the type of business that you're building. I also think it depends on your skill sets and what sort of things that you bring to the table. So so the first person that I hired was a programmer. So when I built AW Pro Tools, I built version 1.0 myself, and it quickly got to the point where I realized, okay, this thing is taking off, so I need if I'm going to really run this like a business, I need to hire someone. And I got very fortunate. It was a little bit of skill, a little bit of luck to hire a very talented programmer. Came on my team and really helped me move things forward. Which brings me to something in my notes that I wanted to bring up. I was not able to afford to hire that person full time, but this person was super talented. And I knew I was getting a really, really savvy person, but I just didn't. I just couldn't. Technically, actually, if I'm being honest, I could afford to do it, but I was too afraid to jump in and go, yeah, I'm going to hire you full time. Mm-hmm. So this brings me to my point, which is that I believe it's better to hire the right person and only get them part-time than to go for someone full-time, but they're not as talented as the A+ person. And what I found is that when you hire the A+ person and you have them part-time, if you are able to focus in on the 80-20, what is going to really move the business forward, because you have a limited amount of time, that's actually a good thing. It forces you to focus down on, okay, who do I need to hire, first of all, that's really going to move my business forward. And when I do hire that person, if I don't have them full time, what are the key things that I need them to focus on that's going to have the biggest impact, either in terms of revenue or my time, or hopefully both? And so once you start to see that pay off, then you can then bring them on full time if they're open to doing that. And that's something that I always start having that conversation with the person before we bring them on full time. A few weeks or a few months ahead of time, we start having that conversation of, hey, this is really working out. Would you be interested in going full time? So, anyways, the key tip there to write down and underline is hire the best person that you can afford. And if you have to cut back, what you do is you don't hire the B player or C player, hire the A player, but just get them for less time than you normally would.
Yeah.
Okay? So in terms of, let's see here, what was the other part? The other part of your question was about who you should hire first. I think it really comes down to what's going to move your business forward. And honestly, I wish there was a pat answer, but I think it really just depends on your business and what you're looking to take off of your plate and what's going to move the business forward. So I think it kind of depends.
Okay. Now, in terms of systems, though, to jump back for a second, you said it's for the people that work with you on your team, it's pretty much just an ongoing Google Doc, right, with the 3 things you're working on?
Well, that's one of the systems.
Give me another one.
So I call that the doing, done. So here's what I'm doing, and then when it's completely done, not almost done, but completely done, you mark it done. So that's just every single day, and then just add to it every day. So another system is called a Kanban, Kanban, and just the real simple version of that is go to Trello.com, Trello.com. This is just it's a very simple but powerful tool to keep your team focused on just a finite number of things, so you have this giant backlog of stuff that you can be working on. But rather than working on everything at once and getting nothing done, let's focus in on a few things. And so it's kind of hard to explain in the time that we have, but go to Trello.com and then look up, go on Kindle and buy Amazon and buy a Kindle book on Kanban. I would highly recommend that you use that. It's basically a collaboration tool, but it really helps focus you in on staying. It keeps your team focused on exactly what they need to be doing. Another one is, again, using Google Drive, and this is having systems and procedures completely spelled out for things that are done all the time. So, for example, someone wants to be an affiliate for me. Okay, well, I used to go in and create their affiliate account. Well, there's no need for me to do that. I go in one time and I create step by step by step. Here's exactly how you do it, down to the point where, one of my children could follow the recipe. And once you have it at that level, then I take the link from that Google Drive doc with the step-by-step systems, and I put that in a giant spreadsheet, and I label it so that anyone on my team, even a new hire, could go in and they could do Command F, affiliate, and they would find it in the list. Boom! Now everyone knows how to set up an affiliate, and so now I've completely systematized that. So it's very, very simple, but it's so powerful, because now as you begin to scale your business, you don't have to have a long meeting with the new hire about how to do it. It's already been documented. And then another one, which is a really important habit, so I consider it sort of a system, is to really train your team. Every time that they bring you a problem, or a challenge, that they also bring their best solution. And what this does is I find that this really gets them to be a lot more self-reliant. As we were leading up towards just a few weeks away from me taking my trip, this fellow Anthony that I had hired on to be my operations manager, he had become very good at really managing the entire operation. But there was a question he brought to me, and I said, "Well, Anthony, how would you deal with this?" And he answered the question. I said, "Well, that's exactly how I would do it. You need to start acting as if this is your company. What would you do if it was your company? Because when I go to Australia, you're in charge. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to call the shot and tell me what you did after the fact. But I'm literally, when it's 11 a.m. for you, it's going to be 2 in the morning for me. So I'm literally not going to be able to answer the questions. So just do what you would do if it was your business, and then tell me about it later." So I think it's really, really important to train and get your team in the habit of bringing their best solution when they bring you a problem as well.
I love it. And right there, you take up right to the 10-minute mark. See, you're always so punctual, Jack. You're the best. Let me again mention your site, awprotools.com. And thanks for being here. And look, I know you had time because everything's on systems with you. So you were able to do it. And this is Ryan Lee. We are signing off. Another episode of The Freedym Show is in the books. Hope you enjoyed this one. But have no fear. You know how it goes. Tomorrow I'll be back for more every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We never stop. Have a great day. Take care. And bye-bye.